The Millionaire's twins hadn't slept in 2 years, not since their mother died. But the night the new black nanny walked in, the crying stopped and the cameras caught her whispering their mother's name. What she did next left the whole house frozen. The Brentwood Hills glowed under a silver moon, their glass mansions shimmering like silent fortresses. Inside one of them, the Delaney estate, a man in his mid-40s stood before a wall of family portraits. Ethan Delaney, tech billionaire, widower, and father of 8-year-old twins, looked at the photograph of his late wife, Lena. Her smile still filled the house. Her absence still drained it. From upstairs came the familiar sound, crying. Ethan exhaled deeply. Every night it was the same. The twins, Mia and Noah, hadn't slept through a single night since their mother's accident 2 years ago. Therapists, sleep doctors, counselors, nothing helped. The housekeeper whispered that the mansion was too quiet to dream. Ethan pressed his palm against the marble staircase, steadying himself. He'd built tech that could read human emotions, but he couldn't fix his own children. The next morning, Ethan scrolled through nanny applications, each one polished, perfect, forgettable, until one photo stopped him. A woman with calm, dark eyes and a gentle smile. Marissa Clark. Her resume was oddly brief. Former night nurse. Works best with children who don't sleep. References upon personal request only. Ethan frowned. Oddly confident, he muttered. Still something in those eyes. A weight, a knowing. By evening, Marissa arrived. Not in a car, but on foot, carrying an old leather bag and a thermos. The doorman looked at her skeptically, but she smiled warmly. Inside, Ethan shook her hand. Ethan, you've worked with children before? Marissa. Yes, sir. Children who see things when others can't. Ethan, half smiling. You mean nightmares? Marissa. No. Memories. Her voice was calm, confident. For a second, Ethan felt as though she already knew his family. At midnight, the twins screamed again. Ethan rushed to their room, only to find Marissa already there, humming softly in the dark. No lights, no gadgets, just her voice. She held the twins' hands gently. Marissa, softly. The stars outside? They're your mother's windows. She peeks through to make sure you're safe. Her tone was hypnotic, steady, loving. Within minutes, both children fell asleep, something that hadn't happened in 2 years. Ethan stood by the door, frozen, his heart pounding. When she came out, she whispered, Marissa, they're not scared of the dark, Mr. Delaney. They're scared of being forgotten. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep, not because of noise, but because of peace. By morning, everyone was talking. The cook swore Marissa prayed in the nursery at dawn. The maid said she saw her in the garden talking to herself. The twins told their father that Miss Marissa talks to Mommy's window. Ethan decided to install new security cameras just to be sure. But when he checked the feeds, something strange appeared. At exactly 3 a.m., Marissa was sitting by the window, whispering. Her lips moved like she was praying to someone unseen. Ethan, murmuring to himself, Who are you, Marissa Clark? Over breakfast, Ethan asked casually, Ethan, you mentioned you were a nurse before? Marissa, smiling faintly. Yes, at County General, pediatrics. Ethan, so you worked with sick kids? Marissa, and mothers who never went home. He looked up, confused. Something about her tone, soft but broken, made him stop asking questions. Later that day, he found Marissa in the study, reading an old photo album, and when she saw him, she quickly closed it. He caught a glimpse of a familiar face inside, his wife, Lena. Ethan, coldly. How do you know my wife? Marissa, quietly. Not now. Pleased that night, he couldn't breathe. Who was this woman? At 2:58 a.m., Ethan opened the nursery door silently. Marissa sat on the floor, eyes closed, hands clasped, whispering into the air. Marissa. Lena, your baby's asleep now. You can rest too, Ethan froze. His wife's name, spoken like a prayer. Ethan. How do you know that name? Marissa, turning slowly. Because I held her hand, the night she died. Ethan's body went numb. Marissa explained in trembling words. 2 years ago, she was the night nurse at County General. A woman had been brought in from a car accident. Critical condition. She stayed conscious only long enough to whisper a few words. Tell my husband, Ethan Delaney, my children's lullaby. Marissa had sung that lullaby to her as she passed away. Marissa, tearfully. I sang it so she wouldn't be alone. And when I saw your ad, I recognized the twins' eyes. Ethan stood speechless. The woman who'd helped his wife die peacefully was now helping his children sleep. The next day, Ethan avoided her. He didn't know whether to be grateful or angry. But that evening, he found Mia sitting on Marissa's lap, smiling for the first time in months. Mia. Daddy, Miss Marissa says Mommy's not gone. She's just quiet. Ethan. Is that true, Marissa? Marissa. Grief doesn't end, Mr. Delaney. It learns to whisper. Ethan's eyes filled. He hadn't cried since the funeral, and now suddenly he couldn't stop. A storm rolled in that night. Thunder rattled the windows. The twins woke up crying again. But this time, Marissa didn't go to them. Instead, she went to the living room, where Ethan sat with his head in his hands. Marissa, you can't make them sleep until you rest too. She placed his late wife's lullaby book in his hands. Then she did the unthinkable. She took his hand and guided him upstairs. In the nursery, the twins lay trembling. Ethan sat between them, his voice shaking as he sang the lullaby Lena once did. Marissa stood in the doorway, tears streaming. As he finished, the thunder stopped. The twins fell asleep. For the first time, Ethan did too. Sunlight spilled into the nursery. Ethan woke up surrounded by silence. Peaceful, golden, real. He turned, but Marissa's chair was empty. Downstairs, her bag was gone, but on the table lay a note. You don't need me anymore. You all remember how to dream. MC. He smiled through tears. Outside, the breeze rustled the garden wind chimes, playing the same soft rhythm as the lullaby. For the first time since Lena's death, the house felt alive. True healing doesn't come from wealth or control or science. It comes from shared pain, remembered love, and the courage to let grief rest.